everybody, how y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Ermi. If you haven't been to my channel is mostly about whatever I want to talk about. I have no specific niche yet, but I'm still working on it. But mostly all of my vlogs are daily life vlogs. So guys, go ahead and hit the like button right now because y'all gonna like what I'm about to tell y'all. So guys, I want to discuss with you guys how it is being a trucker wife. A lot of things have happened over the past few years. Me dating my husband to be marrying my husband. And I've learned so much with the trucking industry. So here's how it goes. My husband, he was a truck driver 10, 12 years ago. And he had his CDL. He received his CDL working for Swift. I don't know if you guys know Swift, the company. But he did that for a few years. He owned a few trucks. He had drivers. He had employees working for him. And it was good income. And then he stopped to go ahead and go into construction and landscaping and security. Like, he had a lot of different businesses. This guy has a pilot license. Like, he can fly planes. Jack of all trades, this guy. So, one day I was in the kitchen. I think I was fixing up a meal, and he was on the couch with the kids watching TV. And I heard in my spirit that you guys should go into trucking. He should go back into trucking. That's what I heard. Go back into trucking. And so I turned to my husband and I was like, I was thinking. And my husband said, let me tell you, I just thought about something. I think I'm gonna go back into trucking. And I'm like, what? I said, because I literally heard that in my mind, that you should go back into trucking. And it wasn't to start a business or anything. It was just for him to go back into it because I felt like that was his passion. But I know God told both of us at the same time that, trucking is something that he should go back into. So this was like the beginning of 2019. So he decided to go and work with CRST, and CRST is another trucking company. I think one of their locations is in Florida. Well, the location is in Florida because he went to the location in Florida. And they did like a refresher course, and then he started driving with them. And they were paying, guys, listen, first of all, ladies, that's with their trucker husbands, okay? Or boyfriends or whatever. The truckers that work for companies usually get paid, new truckers now, I want to say 39 cents a mile. 39, 38, 41 cents a mile. 35. How about that? 35, So I didn't know that they wasn't eating like that. They wasn't really eating. So when you're working for a trucking company, you get all the perks of being under them. They give you like bonuses and fuel cards, and sometimes you get little extra allowances to eat and stuff like that. So they take care of you, and they have a huge fleet of trucks. They have so many trucks. So if one truck breaks down, it's no big deal. You can just drive up to any truck stop that they work with, and they can go ahead and get that fixed. Or you go to the terminal and you just get another truck. And there are terminals all throughout the U.S. If they're a major company, they will have terminals everywhere. And so when my husband started, he was getting like 35 cents a mile because they looked at him as a student driver with experience. So I don't know how that works. You're a student and you got experience. So I remember the first day the first night he ended up going with a trainer. Trainer driver, and I'm gonna just say his name is D. The letter D, because his name is actually a name, but I'm just gonna use the letter D because I have family that names are actually D, D-E-E, and I'm not talking about y'all. But anyway, with the letter D. Okay, so D pulled up to a gas station that is for truckers, and I went to drop my husband off, and it was like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, because we had to wait for D to come from the city he lived in, which was South Florida. Okay, not a problem. So my husband loads up on the truck, and now he is getting ready to drive off. And so I see my husband is in the driver's seat, and he's the one that's driving off. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's how they work. That's how they roll. Recently, my husband told me that we're not supposed to do that. The students were not supposed to drive at night. So pretty much the driver, the D, took advantage of my husband's skills and experience and started driving. And my husband did not like discount it or say, no, I'm not going to do that or anything like that. He went with the flow. He went with the flow and drove. So being up all day and then you are driving at night, that's not safe. That is not safe, nor is it smart. So anyway, my husband did that, and he drove with CRST for a little bit. He drove with D for a little while, maybe like a month. And he said recently to me, now this happened 2 years ago, he just told me recently that, yeah, he did most of the driving. I was like, say what now? Don't tell me you did most of the driving and D was sitting on his butt chilling or sleeping or whatever. And D's getting extra pay because he is the trainer. This fool was asleep while my husband did a lot of the driving. And then my husband was only getting like 35 cents, 36 cents a mile. So what they do is they pay you by the miles you drive, the amount of miles you drive. So I guess you clock in or something like that to let the machine know or the system know that you are now the driver, and then it calculates your miles. So I wonder how that worked with my husband driving most of the time, and D was not driving as much. I wonder if he was driving under D's clock, which is not something that you're supposed to do. That's very illegal, I would say. So I want to say my husband's first check was like $300. $300? Nah, it was $300. And thank God I was making a good amount of money as a nurse working night shift. I was making a good amount, like almost with the differential and everything like that. So I was getting paid pretty good. And so I was able to hold us down while he get that going. I was able to allow him to, well, I didn't allow him. We both discussed, we came on the same level playing field as far as what we should do as a couple financially. And so we decided, you know, for him to go to the trucking school, and I would be able to hold us down because I made enough to make sure our bills were paid, and we had an extra, like an abundance. So the $300 came, and my husband was like, wait. And so I was like, whoa. But you know, so I just told him, you just need the experience, baby. You just need the experience. Just keep it pushing. Just keep it going. You need the experience so you can get back out there because you haven't driven in 7 years or whatever. So he stuck it out. And so once he started driving on his own, I think it went up to maybe like 37 cents a mile. And so we were seeing barely $800, barely $700 a week. I think he was getting paid weekly. So let me see if I can do a calculation using my daughter's phone, because she forgot her phone in my car. You forgot it, Nana. And I will bring it to your school, but after I finish this. So let's see if she has a calculator on her phone. Yes, there's one. All right, so if you're doing, say if you're driving 400 miles to a location, that's $140. And don't forget, taxes have to come out of that. Or this is at 35 cents a mile. If you're doing that, if he drove 1,000 miles, that's only $350 for 1,000 miles. And I think that there's a max. They have have rules where you can only drive for 10 hours a day and have a certain amount of breaks and all of that. So I'm not gonna get into that. I'll talk about that in a different video. But yeah, so if he does, you know, 490 miles at 35 cents, so he's getting 171. So when you calculate all of those miles for the week, that's how much he will get paid. So I will say maybe he did 3,500 miles that week. I'm gonna say he did 3,000 miles that week. So for 3,000 miles that week, you would get $10.50, and then you have to do taxes, take away the taxes and all of that, state tax and all that stuff. So it was probably, you know, it was less than $1,000. I want to say ranging from $600 to $1,000 a week. As a nurse, I get paid bi-weekly. So my husband decided to leave because he was getting really irritated. They was running him to the ground, y'all. They were running my husband to the ground. They did not, I guess, listen to his requests. They didn't really care much. You know, the dispatcher's like, you need to get back on the road. Like, it was like, just drive, and not thinking about the well-being of him. And again, that was his passion. His passion is to drive. He loves to drive. So he decided to quit. I said, okay, I'm still holding this down, and you still got to get the experience. So do what you got to do. So as a wife, I'm looking at it as, let me make sure that he is comfortable with what he's doing. Make sure that everything is going well here at home. Bills are being paid here at home, and I need him to get on the road and just get that experience going. I need him to get that experience going because I'm looking at the end goal. So he quit CRST, and now he's decided to go and work for Werner. And driving with Werner as a new driver with a little experience, he was getting, I want to say, 40 cents a mile. And he was enjoying the perks of Werner. Werner had a lot of different locations for him to, you know, truck stops, I should say, or terminals. They had a lot. And they would treat him good. His dispatchers were very nice to him, except for one he was dealing with. And I said, well, let me speak to him. Put him on the phone. Put him on three-way so I could talk to the dispatcher. He's like, no, baby, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Listen, I can talk to the dispatcher for you. What you want me to say? Well, let me say what you're gonna say, and let me put my twist to it. He didn't want me to get crazy. He didn't want me to act up, so I didn't. But anyway, oh snap, sorry. Worked for Werner. They allowed him to get home time when he requested. So if he was ready to come home, they would try to find ways for him to get home. But that one dispatcher would like say, well, you can do 2 more loads before you go home. Or we'll try to get him to go west. And that would be irritating to me because I'm like, we have plans and we got things to do and you can't come home. Oh, so irritating. So I, you know, still worked, and I still was able to have my kids, you know, help them with homework, help them with everything. Then COVID hit, and my husband was out when COVID was, you know, starting to really get crazy. And my husband, he, you know, I was like, listen, things are getting kind of crazy. Just don't touch anybody. Come home, come get a few masks. Let me load you up with sanitizer. Let me just make sure that you are good. Because I know Werner is not going to stop the truck. Like, that made me see that he was an essential worker. I was an essential worker. So we still had to go to work. We didn't, the jobs were still, you know, like nursing right now is a high demand job right now still, you know, and they're paying pretty. So while my husband was out on the road, I would maintain the house and maintain things. And mentally, okay, so first of all, I am a natural loner, you know, but when I'm around people, you know, it's like I'm the life of the party, you know, I'm cool with everybody. I speak to everybody. I don't have any issues with anybody. I make friends easily, but I'm easily to discern people, you know. So my husband, he is more of a clingy person. He needs to be home. He needs to see us. He has FOMO, fear of missing out. For those who didn't know, fear of missing out. He feel like he gonna miss out on everything. And then I was just like, you know, kind of concerned when my husband would be on the road. And I would try to learn over time, how should I manage. I added myself into a lot of trucker groups, maybe like, well, not a lot, probably like 2 truckerwife groups. And, you know, just reading it, there's a lot of sad women. It's a lot of sad women in this group called Trucker Life or something like that. And they're so sad, y'all. Every time I log in Facebook and I go in that group, I see somebody talking about their husband cheating on them. Somebody's talking about their husband hasn't come home and they can't, you know, it's their husband's been out for a month, and you know, it's taxing on them, taxing on their relationship. It's hard for them to cope without their husband. being home for a certain amount of time, and me, I'm like, yes, babe, go get that money, get that experience, do what you gotta do. I'm holding it down because I've been a single mom for, I want to say, 5 years. So it was not a big deal for me to be, it's not a big deal. I didn't have anybody clinging on me. And my ex-husband wasn't as clingy, so we kind of worked well together because he wasn't as clingy either. But I started to think, you know, I gotta think, my husband is clingy and I know he wants to be home, but he's doing what he gotta do to get the experience in, and we got goals. We got goals. So those trucker wife groups, I mean, some of them positive, some of them not positive at all. All they do to me is bash the other women who are really loving the lives of their husband being truck drivers. I mean, I made a post. I remember I made a post and I said, ladies, I know you guys are being spoiled. What do your husbands do to spoil you? Post after post, comment after comment, people were saying, you know, this is what my husband bought me. I got a new Mercedes, and my husband just purchased me a new house. My husband know I love shoes, so he just bought me these new Louboutins or these new Crocs. So it was just, I was just loving it. I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Husband spoil your wives. Yes, because I'm a spoiled person too, and I like fine things, and I like cheap things too that looks really good. I'm not scared to rock an imitation, whatever. I'm not scared. I'm not that type of person that be like, oh, got 3 Birkin back. No, go give me the Birkin bag at the flea market, the Turkin bag. I will rock the Turkins, and I will rock the Louis Vuittons. Louis Vuitton. I'll rock the Louis Vuitton. I ain't scared. But the thing is, as long as you are able to, you know, your confidence is high, and you can rock anything. You can rock some Bobos and they be fly. But anyway, people were just posting and boasting on what their husbands did for them, and then the trolls came. Oh, this is a stupid post. Oh, this is a post that's just showing how you guys don't really deserve to have those things. And I'm like, what? And she's like, oh, you're so superficial. Who you talking to, sis? Who you talking to? And so I'm like, all I did was wanted to know how you guys are being blessed by your husbands, and how you guys, you know, your husbands are taking care of you. I didn't say that you're not working and you just sitting on the couch and he's bringing in all the money and you don't do nothing but spend it and you just wait for him to spend money. I'm not talking like that. I just said there are husbands that love to spoil their wives, and there are wives that love to spoil their husbands. So what's the problem, sis? You ain't being spoiled. Oh, I know what it is. I instantly thought, ooh, her husband cheating on her. Her husband is cheating on her. Her husband is cheating on her. And I just felt that. I felt that. And let me tell you, when I say so many people came and was going in and was like snapping on that one little comment. It was like a thread under that. And then I went and made another post, and I said, well, you know what? I didn't realize how catty this group was, and I didn't realize how petty some of you wives are, and I'm going to bow out. This is not a group for me. There's too much negativity in this group. And a lot of the women that were on the positive side were like, no, don't leave. We can block her. She can go. That post was amazing. Like, I want to say it was 1,000 comments, y'all. I'm not kidding. It was so many comments. And out of that, I met a lot of beautiful women, a lot of strong women. And so I decided, let me go create a group of my own. So those people that commented telling me not to leave, I said, yeah, I think I got to go. But I've created a group called Melanated Trucker Wives. Melanated Trucker Wives. So if you guys are Facebookers, you guys can go ahead and add that to your group list. Join me, Melanated Trucker Wives. And I think it's a safe space. I made it a safe space for us to just talk, you know, whatever's on your mind. Just talk like any group, you know. As a trucker wife, I believe that we as wives need to make sure we have our husbands back, because they are on the road, y'all, all day. They're on the road for a month, weeks at a time. They don't get to see their family unless it's video chats or video call, which I am happy that we have that kind of technology where we can video chat. And it's been many nights where me and my husband, we video chat and I fall asleep and he would just stare at me. Yes, babe, he will stare at me on the video chat. I wake up like 2 hours later and I'm like, did I fall asleep? He's like, yeah, you did. I said, so you didn't even try to make a, like, you didn't hang up and call the phone to wake me up and tell me to just go to sleep? He's like, no. Okay, you're kind of weird, but I like it. It's kind of weird, but I like it. I like it. I like it, guys. So there's so many different ways you can just stay in contact and keep them, you know, occupied. Like literally now, my husband, when he's on the road, I am on the phone with him all day. All day. Our relationship has grown so much that we can literally be on the phone all day. And if I'm not, like, he had a hard time in the beginning. I would say, like, if I was to go to a party with the kids and I would call him, maybe like just say, hey, you okay? He's just checking in on you. And then I would not call him until that night. And so he would be in his feelings and say, well, why you didn't call me? I'm like, what? I did. I called you twice today to check up on you. Babe, you know, I'm on the road and this is not easy for me to be on the road. And I'm like, okay, so he on the road and now his mind playing tricks on him and he's not having moments where he could just think crazy stuff. So when he came home, I would have to readjust him and tell him, hey, look at my life. Look at my life. Look at my life at home. Look at my life. I go to work. Look at my life. And so I got him to, you know, understand that, like, right now he's on the road. And Saturday I went to my goddaughter's birthday party and I spoke to him earlier that day and I spoke to him on the way down for a few times as I was driving because it's a 3-hour drive. And I didn't speak to him until it was time for me to leave and I wanted to go home. So 3 hours back up and I called him. He was like, hey, stranger. And I said, man, I had an amazing time. And he was like, okay. I said, don't start with the streaming stuff. Because I had an amazing time. And it's been very, like, I've just really been busy at the party. And I think he got it. Like, I think it clicked because the conversation kept going and we started talking about everything else. Like, it was like normal. So, but before he was like, you don't call me all day. You didn't talk. I was like, bro, like, I had to screenshot some of the, messages and the amount of times that I spoke to him. I had to screenshot it so you can see, look, you can't say that because I got receipts. I got receipts, bro. And so that kind of checked him. That kind of checked him a few times. I say all that to say this, ladies. Make sure you give your husbands or your spouses or your boyfriends or your trucker man some love. Talk to him a lot. Give him some of your time. And if you're a working parent, working spouse, you know that your husband needs to understand that you got to balance it out. If you're at work, like me, I worked overnight, so I slept throughout the day. So I couldn't talk to him. I couldn't be on the phone all day. I'm asleep. I was working all night. So yeah, I think he understands and it's so much better now. Like I spoke to him this morning after he texted me because I told him to text me when you wake up because he's, you know, like I said, he's on the road. So I don't want to wake him up if he's tired from driving all day. I'd rather you just call me when you get up or I text him and say, hey, whenever you're ready to get up. Or just a text, hey babe, love you. Just some sweet nothings, some sweet words for him to know that, you know, we do miss you and we care that you are on the road and, you know, we're not going to go to Universal Studios without you. We were going to a lot of fun places and he's been missing out. So we're going to try to cut it back and do it every time he come home. So every time he come home, our plan is to go to Universal. We have annual passes, so try to go every time he comes home so he can, you know, enjoy with us and try to find a new restaurant for us to go check out just to explore, you know. Yeah. So being a trucker wife, it ain't easy, and being a trucker ain't easy either. I think I'm gonna go get my CDL. and we gonna go trucking together. What you say, babe? You like that? Let's do some trucking together. I can get my CD out real quick. Okay. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button for me. Hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel. I think I may go into this direction with my channel. Just start talking about trucker wives, trucker lives. I don't know, but hear me out. Like my channel, y'all, and tell me what you think. Go ahead and comment as well. Let me know if this is something that you want to hear more about. And if you want to be in my Facebook group, let me know. I can add you. It ain't nothing, sis. Come on. Come on. And I do. It's melanated wives, but I do have a few of my Caucasian persuasion. My boo Natalie. I have her in the group, and she is not melanated, but she is married to a melanated man, melanated truck driver. And she be helping me out with a lot. So, Melanie. I told you Melanie. No. So, Natalie, hey boo. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace out.